Good morning, everyone. This is Black Forex coming to you with another pre-market analysis video. This morning, we're going to be looking at the USDJPY. So before we get to going and break it down this Forex pair, we have to state that this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, but we know why you guys are here. You want to find good Forex financial content to improve your ability as a trader. So let's go ahead and see what we can do about helping out with that, all right? Now, before we get started, we have to break down the fundamentals of what's going on with USD and the Japanese yen, respectively. As we stated earlier, the USD is coming into this trading week with a dual complex. With on one hand, the USD has been inherently weak for the last several trading weeks due to the American inflation, bringing down the value of the USD currency, but it also has acted as a safe haven currency during this European conflict, even though traditionally it is not a safe haven currency. So we have to pay attention to that, and the reason why that is because America is one of the major countries leading the sanctions against Russia. And let's now discuss the JPY. Now, just like all the other major world economies, the Japanese economy is suffering due to all the measures it had to take to stop its economy from collapsing during the whole COVID pandemic. So it's also suffering through a state of inflation as well. But then again, on the other hand, the Japanese yen does act as a safe haven currency traditionally. So anytime we have global panic in the markets, right, we have a increase in Japanese yen strength that causes price to drop for majority of Japanese yen pairs. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. Now that we got the fundamentals out the way, let's go ahead and break down the technical analysis of it all, of the chart. Now, yesterday we were in this range. We were in this range here, but as I stated, being that we don't have any type of heavy geopolitical news outside of what we've been dealing with going into this trading week, and it's pretty safe to say that for the foreseeable future, that this Russian-Ukrainian incident is just going to be an isolated European incident, and it's not going to have any type of global military action effects. We're going to be trading within the fundamentals. Okay. And even though Japanese yen has been one of our weaker currencies going into many trading weeks, it has been stronger than the USD. Okay. Which is why we do have this push down, because yesterday we were somewhat in the range, but as we can see, we broke that range and we're starting to push down. So we may continue to push down to this area right here before we see any reversal in price. Okay, so basically we'll continue to see a steady push down, or probably some attempts to go up slightly before it continues to push down and go into this area. And then once we get in this area, we're going to have to see if there's going to be any type of reversal to go towards the upside, being that every time we've gotten this area before, we have turned and started going from selling to buying. See, even here on this side too, every time we've gotten to this area here, we buy, it buys, it buys. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. But for the most part, going into the rest of the trading week, it looks like we're going to be here for a short position with possible towards the end of the week buying once we get into this area here. So we have to pay attention to that. Now, let's say we do have a fundamental shift in which the USD becomes stronger than the JPY, or the JPY starts to become a lot more weaker than the USD, then what we will start to see is a push up in price heading towards a long position. Okay, so I hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.